So I wanted to make this video of why I'm not a multi-platform gamer anymore. Most of my life, I've definitely had multiple consoles per generation. At least starting from the Sega Saturn, N64, PlayStation One uh, era onwards. Cause I only had the Sega Genesis for the previous gen before then. But back in the day, yeah, I definitely had multiple consoles. Um, and for the most part, I would enjoy whatever games I got for them. However, in the seventh generation, last gen with the 360, PS3, and Wii, that's really where I started to just limit to just focus on one platform instead of all of them. And because I didn't enjoy the Wii at all, I don't. When did I get the Wii? I think I got it in 2008, and I thought it was just a terrible console. It is the worst console I've ever owned. The Wii was so bad that I haven't bought a Nintendo product since. That's how much I didn't like the Wii. I thought the motion controls was terrible. It's like the gimmick was fun for like a week playing Wii U bowling with my family. And then after that, when the novelty wore off, I didn't touch it. And then the third party games were atrocious, absolutely atrocious. For example, look up Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Look at the 360 version and the PS3 version versus the Wii version and see how just insanely atrocious the Wii version of that game was. And that's how it was for damn near every multi-plat on the system. So so Nintendo lost me with the Wii, and then when the Wii U pretty much did the same thing where it was underpowered compared to the Xbox One and PS4, I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy it. Then they did the same thing with the Switch, as the Switch isn't gonna be able to run any next gen games unless it takes like severe compromises. Nintendo is definitely my least favorite of the big three publishers. And for the record, I don't hate Nintendo. I don't hate any platform. So if you enjoy it, please enjoy what you like. Don't take, don't take my preferences as an insult. It's not. These are just my views. And the PlayStation 3, boy, what turned me off with the PlayStation 3 was the controller. The six-axis controller was disgustingly pitiful. That controller was awful. Um, and that was before they, people had to complain to the point that they released the DualShock 3 with the rumble because the six axis was light. It was like light and flimsy. It was a tiny controller. Because by then I'm an adult, and it's like you got this tiny ass controller that was uncomfortable. I never liked the thumb placements of the PlayStation controllers in general, but man, that PS3 six-axis controller, that was so uncomfortable to play. I couldn't play games long term, and it was crazy is that the console had some, and I gave it a fair shot. I would buy some multi-plat games like Assassin's Creed on there, or or like Infamous. I remember enjoying Infamous or Infamous 2, one of those two games on the PS3, but I couldn't finish it because that controller, man, that controller it was terrible. It was tiny, it was cramped, it was uncomfortable, and 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 is and then the online service was bad, and I didn't care that it was free because it was never good. It sounded like man, yeah, the PS3. So the PS3, the only good thing I liked about it was the design of the first Slim model. And then you had the 360, which was an amazing console to me. I loved the controller. I remember just love so by then I was doing so much gaming on my 360 because I wasn't touching the Wii. I would barely play the PlayStation. So like 95% of my gaming was on Xbox. And before I lost everything and life happened, I pretty much integrated to being just an Xbox gamer from a multi-plat gamer. And so when I got back on my feet and finally got the Xbox One, it was really like the decision of whatever console I get, that's just gonna be my main console. Yeah, from a financial standpoint, it doesn't make sense to me personally to pay $300-400 just to play like three games that I'm interested in. For example, the Nintendo Switch. I'm not gonna play any multiplats on it if I bought one. I'm not gonna spend $300 just to play Bayonetta 3, Marvel vs. Ultimate Alliance 3, and Astral Chain, because those are the only games on the console I'm interested in. The usual Nintendo classic IPs never really done much for me. I grew up as a Sega guy, so their usual Mario, Zelda, it's not super interested to me, so I could pass. Um, Same with PlayStation. I didn't get a PlayStation 4 until it was like $250 on Amazon, and even then, I don't touch it. I played Spider-Man for a few hours, and that was about it. I don't touch it. I'm so integrated with Xbox and the Xbox ecosystem that it just doesn't make sense for me to play anywhere else. It really doesn't. I don't. I'm not a big enough fan to play the handful of playing a handful of PlayStation or Nintendo exclusives is not a good investment to me. Not when I have hundred upon hundreds of games on Xbox. Not when I also subscribe to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Not when I have so many damn Xbox controllers. It's a collection now. And then not only that, not only do I have hundreds upon hundreds of Xbox One games, I have a lot of backwards compatible games for original Xbox and the 360 now. So the integration with Xbox is now so ingrained into my gaming habits that that it stopped making sense to that it stopped making sense to really to be a multi-console gamer, multi-platform gamer. A lot of people in the community feel like you need to buy everything and play everything, but we time is there's only so much. Everything is finite, man. We only got so much time in the day. We have jobs, family lives, stuff going on. So I can't realistically sit there and play every single game all the time. So for me, I find it better to buy one box, play those games, play whatever multiplayer games I enjoy, and do it that way instead of trying to trying to buy other consoles that I have no interest in. I'm not going to use much, because to me, there's no point in buying something just to use it a handful of times and never touch it again. That's a terrible investment. Every time I make a video, I forgot about this part, and that's to check out the Exiled podcast on eRockX channel. Last night's podcast was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of things, gaming and Xbox related. We feed very well off each other. It's a great podcast with a lot of great people. eRockX, Sega Man, Sega Man 101, T Reaper, Hebot. We had 100 on there, and it was a blast. It was a blast being with them. So check that out, and I'm out.